Hi there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. I am Jill Allen, and I'm so excited that you're here with me as we dive into another amazing episode. It's episode 168, which is crazy to think that we have been showing up every week for 168 weeks, and it's pretty exciting. But this episode is going to be one that I think where you are going to want to hit save and to go back to and listen again over and over again, like maybe on repeat, because we all have to deal with this. It's all part of life, part of the human experience, and you're probably thinking, what would that be? I got to tell you, it is dealing with negativity and negative people, and we're going to kind of talk a little bit about how we can deal with them effectively, and it might even be you. I get it. It might be you in your own brain. I've been there. It's like my brain can be negative at times, just doubling down on negativity or the discouragement or the cynicism, it's self-criticism, it's comparison. And even though I feel that I am a very, very natural, optimistic person, but yet I still have to be really mindful of having a positive mind and a positive mindset, to be intentional with my thoughts. And even though I naturally tend to be positive, I still have to be mindful of those, the negative thoughts that creep in, or to call myself up and out of any doom and gloom, because we first have to focus and work on our own negativity before we can actually properly and effectively manage, if you want to use that word, the negativity of others and of the world. And I have to tell you, beautiful things happen when we distance ourselves from negativity. And a negative mind, guys, is never going to give us a positive life. I mean, the less we respond to negativity, the more peaceful our life becomes. And I'm excited because this episode, I'm going to teach you how to distance yourself from negativity, how to create a positive mind and a positive life, and how to stop reacting to negative people to live more proactively. So this week, we're going to be coaching on how to overcome that negativity, your negativity, others' negativity, negative inputs in your life. It's kind of like broken down into 3 categories of negativity. And we're going to bring awareness to that breakdown, because we can't help what is not revealed. So we got to bring awareness of where we need to improve and what we need to work on. And that is something to be excited for, not to be discouraged from, because there were times in my life, and talk about positive growth and personal development, where I was positive, but I wasn't necessarily guarding my positivity and taking my thoughts captive, or really being honest where my thoughts were. Where I was mindful, but I didn't really implement mindfulness habits. If someone told me, I was negative, years ago, I probably would have taken offense, and I would have chalked it up to maybe like a static thing. But let me tell you, nothing is static. I mean, we have this amazing machine of a mind, and we are constantly transforming, constantly being upgraded, and continually growing. And if we need to work on some things, I don't want us to get discouraged. I mean, I want us to flip that script and let's get fired up, because if God is showing us areas of where we need to improve and telling us what we need to work on, guys, that is a gift. That, a new area that can be pruned and new growth can emerge and sprout. I mean, that is a good thing. It's a privilege to be called to higher levels, because we have this primitive brain, and it's normal to look at things from a protective standpoint, or, have a negative default mode. I mean, like, we like to avoid pain, or we want to save energy. And our brain is always going to offer us new thoughts and ideas, but we don't have to believe everything the brain tells us. And if we can grab a hold of that concept, it could change a lot of things in our life. We're also going to talk a little bit about toxic friends, toxic family, what to do about them. And then I want to kind of finish up with how we can create a more positive life for yourself. But before we go any further today, I have to ask, are you needing a speaker for an upcoming event or conference? If so, I would love to be your person. I would love to bring the Find Your Fierce message to your next function. To book your event, message me at jill@jillallencoaching.com. And I love that you are here listening in and spending time with me. I am honored that I get to be a part of your day. You're just also amazing, and I thank you for your love and support. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews. I love that you share this podcast and the Set Fire message with your friends and family. And speaking of Set Fire, if you have not heard, my new book, Set Fire, just released on Monday, on March 27th. And so I would love it if you could head on over to Amazon, snag your copy, buy a copy for your friends or your family, someone that you love that wants to set their soul on fire for Jesus and you want to fire up your life. And so if you could do that, that would be awesome. Just head on over to Amazon. And I want to thank you again for being here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So are you ready? I know I am. So let's dive in. To warm us up on this negative talk or this powwow and flipping the script, I want to share with you a few quotes. Shirley MacLaine says, "Dwelling on the negative simply contributes to its power." That's pretty good. Just kind of ponder that for a minute. Dwelling on the negative simply contributes to its power. W. Clement Stone, "There is little difference in people." I love this one. "There's little difference in people, but that little difference makes a big difference. The little difference is attitude. The big difference is whether it is positive or negative." And I know you guys have heard this your entire life. Be positive, have a positive attitude. And I shared this in my first book, Set Free, that there are two things that we can control, our attitude and our effort. And I truly believe that our attitude will change our life. It will change the way people see you, the way that we see ourselves, what doors open for you and I. It will change how you feel, what you think is possible. Things will totally change and shift when it comes to our attitude. Now, I don't know who said this one, but I love it. Negative people need drama like oxygen. Stay positive. It will take their breath away. So I think we can all agree. We're going to come across a lot of negative people who love drama. But all I can say is stay the course, be wise, don't be foolish by getting bogged down with the negativity. And then Helen Keller, "Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow." So that's so good. So let's kind of dive into this a little bit now that we are warmed up, fired up, and ready to go. So your negativity, it breaks down into two categories: your thoughts and then your actions. And your thoughts can be consumed by criticism. It can be consumed by complaining, the coveting, the comparison. And you may not think that you are negative, that you might see like the glass half full. But if you are critical, you are negative. Critical of yourself, if you're critical of others, or if you find yourself complaining or micro-complaining about your life, maybe you're complaining about that you have to do laundry or about feeling behind or what is on your to-do list. I hate to break it to you, you are negative. Comparing or coveting, one thing's lead to another and it spreads like this black mold. It spreads everywhere. It spreads in your mind and your spirit. And I know what it feels like to be in a negative headspace, what it feels like to weed out those thoughts, to intentionally have a positive mind and the impact that it has. You guys are going to find yourself more joyful. You're going to attract the right people. Your life is brighter. It's just better. I can't even really explain it. Your life is just better when we have a positive attitude and a positive mindset. It just is. I go back to that quote, "The little difference in people is attitude. The big difference is whether it is positive or negative." Okay, so now we have our actions. Our negativity is also displayed through our actions. Maybe even inaction or procrastination or over-exaggerating a task, over-dramatizing, the fact that maybe you're making life a little bit harder, self-pity. How many times have we said, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Why am I the only one? No one is helping me. No one has it as hard as me. Why do I have to struggle?" And I can be honest with you, I've said all these things a time or two. I think my big go-to is that nobody's helping me. Like I feel alone, that I have to do it all by myself. And I have this little pity party, and I can definitely go down into a really dark space or rabbit hole when I start focusing on that. Or what about avoidance? I mean, that's another negative action. And all these things, I am still working on myself. I know that I'm working on the avoidance of things, right? To help with, rocking out wins and success. I mean, something that I have found that helps with that is if the task takes less than 2 minutes to do, I got to do it just like right then and there, that I don't put it off. So if it takes less than 2 minutes to do, I don't just say, oh, I'm going to, do that later. I'm going to check that off later. It's like, nope, I get it done right then and there. Or what about the lack of belief or too much importance on doing something right? That is a negative action. So what do you do when you become aware of the negative showing up in your life? What do you do? Well, one, notice when it happens. And then I want you to resist judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't get discouraged or, don't beat yourself up. Okay, we've noticed that it happens. Now we're going to resist that judgment. And then I want you guys to do like a brain dump to find out that initial thought. Because there is always this core thought that breeds these like runner thoughts or these trailing thoughts. So think of it as a game of curiosity. So how did I get here? Well, I was thinking about that, and then I got discouraged about that, and then I compared myself to them, and before that, I woke up thinking this, right? So just kind of play that curiosity game and find that core thought that triggers the train and do the thought work to reframe and replace the thoughts with positive ones. I just want you to take notice and get curious, resist that judgment, and get to understand your default thought patterns so we can offer new thoughts to your brain to think. So when the next time it pops up, we now can focus on those new positive thoughts and the new pathway. We're creating those new brain trails. A couple more ways that has helped me to become a little bit more positive. Journal daily. Jot those things down. Like just begin writing your thoughts, get it out there. There's something about pen to paper. Affirmations and intentional thought work. Be generous. Compliment others. Build others up. I love doing that. Okay, so if you see someone wearing, a super cute shirt, let them know. If someone did something kind to you, praise them, thank them, build others up because you kind of rise in that process as well. Be a helper. And then a gratitude journal. Guys, it's really hard to be negative when you are focusing on giving praise and everything that you are grateful for. You cannot be in that same place at the same time because our mind is really focused on all the good things in our life. Exercise daily. That is hands down, part of my mental wellness. I mean, it helps me detox like my negative mind. And so if you want to be less negative, move your body and create moments of margin, create happiness, pockets of peace. And so you're probably thinking like, okay, Joe, what does that mean? Just take 10 minutes to pause. Go for a walk with your dog or shut the computer down, turn off your social media, go lay down for 10 minutes and just breathe. Sit and enjoy a cup of coffee. Just step away for a minute. And yes, 10 minutes can totally change everything. What about good music? Surround yourself with positive people. But you're probably thinking, Jill, this is about negativity. Okay, so what happens when you surround yourself or there are negative people around you? What do you do with negative people? Well, one, we have to notice. But how do you know if they are toxic? And the best way to figure that out is to ask yourself, do you feel better or worse after spending time with them? Do they drain you? When I'm around life-giving people, I feel better after seeing them. But yet when I'm around toxic, life-stealing, and negative people, I feel drained. I mean, when I think of a friend that's draining or, they're self-focused or maybe they're gossipy, and when you leave or when I leave, I feel drained. So ask yourself, who fills your bucket and then who empties it? Who is making our bucket like maybe have a leak? I have friends, when I am around them, even if it is just for 1 second, maybe it could be a text, it could be just like a real split second interaction. I feel better. A person I know that I want to inspire to be. That I want to be that person that fills someone's bucket versus being the drainable. And so what do? One, limit your time around them to the extent that you can. Family and coworkers, I get it. It could be a challenge, but we can still limit our time and set those boundaries. We can still be kind. We can still love. We can still network, but we can still limit our time. Two, you can increase your time around positive people. Go find good people. Put yourself in areas where they are. It could be the gym. It could be a group fitness class. It could be church. It could be a coffee shop. Wherever they are around, you might have to switch things up a little bit into your habits and your routine and where you socialize. But I promise you, they are out there. Go find them. And three, speak back. This is so powerful. Speak back to the negativity. Shed the light. If someone is struggling and they are like super negative or battling things or spiraling or going down this negative hole, we can stop them. We can shut it down. We can draw the line in the sand and say, hey, this is not healthy. Let's focus on something different. It's not helpful. It's not helping us move forward. We're not solving the problem here. Or maybe let's not talk about this person. We can put a stop to it. We can change the subject. We can be the leader, but it's going to take confidence and the courage to speak up, to use our voice. And all I know is we can do it. Okay, let's talk about negative inputs. We wonder why we feel down, but we keep our doors open and unlocked without even noticing it, really. So what are some of these negative inputs? Social media, we can be on our screens like all day. News, trash TV, it could be gossip. Negative inputs steal from us. They steal our joy, they steal our sunshine. And when we don't put boundaries on our input and don't realize it's our responsibility to guard what we put into our minds and our hearts and to protect what's coming in, it has detrimental impact. If we take the lock off our heart and just welcome everything to come in and just say, come on in, guys. I have this amazing potential and so much awesomeness in me, but come on in and squash all that. And we wonder why our joy gets taken or why we feel down. It's pretty simple. Garbage in, garbage out. If we put garbage into our mind, we will get garbage out of our heart, our minds, our thoughts. And we wonder why we are becoming more anxious. We wonder why we are obsessing over the news or our bodies. And all our free time is sucked up by all the junk that we just fed our mind. They get our attention by our obsession of fear. Okay? And we feed off that. We can stop that today. We can shut it down. So I don't want us to miss or give authority to the wrong people. I want to challenge you and me too, to ask ourselves what inputs create negativity in our life. And I'm not saying not to be on social media or not to watch TV or keep up with the news, but I am saying know the right amount and know what crosses the line for you or what triggers the self-doubt or the fear or the comparison. I know I wouldn't want my daughter to measure her worth or her coolness by the likes of strangers. And yet we do. We need to be that example. I want you to imagine this. Think from the perspective of the most innocent person you know and then decide what you want your relationship with social media to be with them. How would you want to guard their mind, their heart? And then whatever that is, then go do the same with yours. I want to be someone who isn't always on their phone. And I'm guilty. I have just as much of an addiction to our phone as the next person, but I am working on it. I'm becoming super aware, more intentional, but I don't want to always be on my phone. I don't want to always have the TV on. I want to be bold enough to be different. And I want to be diligent in the fight against negativity, to show up and be intentional with my mindset. And we are programmed daily of how to think. It is constant. Noise is all around us. But I tell you what, we must fight, we must refrain, we must replace with the positive and with the truth. So how do we create a more positive life for ourselves? Some of you may be thinking, well, I have a pretty positive life, but what if we can create this extraordinary life? The brightness of our life creates the brightness of this world. It starts with us. So how do we do it? One, know that you can. Believe. Believe that things can shift. Two, decide what a positive life looks like. And I get it. Life is still filled with good and bad. And I get it. It's not all rainbows and sunshine. But what does a positive life look like overall? You can dare to dream. Take my mindset to the next level. It's like, just like raise the bar. 4, identify as a creator. Believe that you are somebody that creates, has so much power. You have more flow. It's like this, such a freeing concept. God creates and he created us, and we have that in us. That's power, guys. It is natural in our God-given creation for us to be able to create, to change lives, to make a difference, to create beauty, to create a life, to help others, not to settle. We have to be able to identify as a creator and speak life to those negative thoughts. We have the power that has been given to us. 5, know that it's never too late. It is never too late to have a positive mind. Number 6, lead the way. Be an example of what's possible. And number 7, spend time visualizing your future. Know that it is available to you. I know we talked about the power of visualization on last week's episode. A positive mind, guys, can create and change and flip anything. I hope you're fired up. I know I am. Hope it was pretty helpful this week. You are a ripple effect of positive with the lives that you are in and around. So go be that game changer, go make a difference, and go be positive. Before we wrap this up, though, there is something about getting outdoors, unplugging, detoxing, spending time in nature. Have you checked out our brand new Instagram page? Guys, it's called Hike, Live, Explore. And if you want all the ins and outs when it comes to hiking or getting outdoors and challenges, go follow that page. It's Hike, Live, and Explore. And there's also a Facebook group that you can hang out with us over on, Facebook. And the Explore Challenge is kicking off May 1st. You guys are not going to want to miss it. And if you're wanting even more fire in your day, there is so much for you to do. So you can join our Just Breathe Facebook group, follow my personal Instagram to keep up to date with all that is going on. Like I said, my new book, Set Fire, released on Monday. Go get yourself a copy. It's just so good. Join us in the Fit and Fierce Sisterhood, the upcoming retreats, the hiking adventures, or join our Hawaii mission trip team as we will be serving this June in Kauai. And maybe you're wanting to take your own road trip. You can hop in our Sprinter van that sleeps up to 5 and hit the open road. Guys, that is a lot going on, and I don't want you to get overwhelmed. You can actually really just go to jillallencoaching.com for all of that, for all the updates, and we would love to connect with you. Positive connection is so game-changing. Come back next week. I know you're going to love it, as we will help and encourage you to up-level. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I pray that I filled your heart with joy. If you could let me know before hopping off, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit, and I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.